iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Who's in the race car?
Dada.
Dada? Say go, Daddy?
Go, Daddy.
Welcome in here, race fans, to the Magic Mile, the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, playing host to the end of the round of 12. Welcome in here, race fans, tonight. It is the RacingSchool.net 90. Well, why is it the RacingSchool.net 90? Well, not too far down the road here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, we would find the Thompson Speedway, where the racing school is based out of. You ever thought about driving a real race car, at least being in a real race car? Well, look no farther than heading over to the RacingSchool.net today. They have a lot of promotions over there for you and your family to enjoy a day at the most historic short track in America. Head on over to the Racing School today and book yourself a seat and one of the greatest short tracks around. But we welcome you here tonight for the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series for Red Light Racing. We talked about it. It's the round of 12. Well, after today, it's no longer the round of 12. It'll be the round of 8. So the drivers that are right now biting for those final spots. There's only 7 up for grabs the rest of the way here tonight. And there's only one driver that's locked in, and that's last week's winner of James Skelton. So Skelton's locked in. Max Terrell's still on the hot seat. DJ Anderson, Dustin Gainey, James Heater, Jason Wells, Zach Mitchell, Michael Trevorth, and Chris Hammett, Eric Johnson. And these drivers from here on back are the drivers we're going to really have to keep a close eye on. That would be Sean Single, Travis Minto, Joe Strano, Richard Murdoch, and Ryan O'Donnell. Those drivers are not safe right now. They are sitting right there on that bubble of in or out. Ryan O'Donnell last week had some connection issues with our servers, and of course then Richard Murdoch got caught up in a wreck. Joe Strano faded and get caught up in a wreck late. Travis Minto, well, he just did not have a good setup underneath his machine and fell back late. Sean Single right now is in that final transfer spot, and it's only by 4 points. There's only 9 points separating drivers from being in or out here tonight, headed into this wild card race. You talk about tracks that you don't want to see at the end of a round of the championship. Well, for a lot of drivers, this is that track. Some drivers look forward to coming to the Magic Mile every year. And there's some of those drivers that really are like, man, we could have just left this one off the schedule this season and moved straight on to the next round. Well, we got to get through New Hampshire. It's one of the most historic tracks. It used to have 2 dates on the NASCAR Winston Cup schedule, and unfortunately they took a date away here in the last couple of years. So we only get to race here once a year in NASCAR, and we only get to race here once a season with the Red Light Scrambler series. So I can't wait. We do enjoy this track. Of course, when they bring the SK Modifieds here, which will happen this season, it alternates every season. They bring it here to the New Hampshire Speedway and then take a season off from the New Hampshire Speedway. So not only do we get to race here on Monday night, we get to come back here in a couple weeks and do it all again with the SK Modified series. So, well, we get the double dose this season. Looking at it, looks like about 25 drivers have logged in here to the virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So right now, 21 of them have taken a qualifying time, and it looks like qualifying is going to run out here tonight. That means the field is set, the field is locked to go racing tonight in the RacingSchool.net 90. But this is your starting lineup brought to us by our friends over at Green Forest Tree Supply. Well, the springtime is coming, race fans. We tell you it all the time. But you need to get your trees today to line your driveway to hide from all your pesky neighbors. Head on over to the Green Forest Tree Supply today and get your green trees. Starting lineup tonight, though, starting P number 1. He's locked in. He doesn't have to battle for this one tonight. It'll be the driver out of South Carolina, driving the 86. This is James Skelton. Starting in position number 2, driving the Alienware 64 of Jason Wells. Sean Single, this is what he would consider his hometown track. He's driving the number 11 here tonight in position number 3. Starting 4th, driving the number 42, it's the wily veteran of Max Terriel. Richard Murdoch scheduled the roll-off, P number 5. P6 here tonight, the 51 of DJ Anderson. 7th tonight, driving the number 24 Chevrolet, this is Zach Mitchell. Starting in the 8th position, driving the Dirty Mo Radio number 33 of Eric Johnson. 9th tonight on the starting lineup, driving the number 31, the RPM Motorsports driver of Michael Trevarthen. Starting 10th and rounding out the top 10, the 906 rookie, it is Chris Hammett. Starting in 11th, it's the another rookie this season. This is Rob Jenkins in the 989 entry. Joe Strano in the Green Tree Forest Supply entry will roll off 12th here tonight on our starting lineup. Starting in the 13th position, hailing out of Norman, Oklahoma, this is the 919 of Travis Minto. Right alongside him, also hailing out of Norman, Oklahoma, driving the number 5, this is Brandon Minto. Starting in the 5th position, a driver out of Pennsylvania, driving the number 84, the Renaissance Nutrition 84 of Christopher Rothrock. Ryan O'Donnell's going to start his Full Throttle Racing number 98, Radical Paints entry in 16th, and the old Granny Hips got the Walker out tonight, he'll go 17th. 18th tonight out of Virginia, driving the 999er, and it's going to be Mark Jenkins. Rob Higgins in the Higgins Hill Racing Checkered Flag Auto Supply number 40 will go 19th. 20th to the driver out of Ontario, Canada. It'll be the 938 of Brandon Feeney. Starting in the 21st position for the Strano Brothers Racing Stables, it'll be the number 3 of Tony Strano. Starting into the 22nd spot here tonight, it'll be the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. Starting back one more spot here, it looks like. Just a couple more drivers on our starting lineup. The number 15 of Dustin Gaining will go 23rd here tonight. 24th will go to the Aussie. The 184 of Kevin O'Brien, and the Checkered Flag Auto Supply out of Ayer, Massachusetts. This is the 941 of Bob Higgins. That's your Green Tree Forest Supply starting lineup tonight for the RacingSchool.net 75 here tonight for the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series for Red Light Racing. 90 laps on the docket here tonight as they come out of turn 4. iRacing.com pace car will make the left-hand turn. It is off the racing surface, and the green flag is going to be up. 90 laps of hard-pounded racing action here tonight at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway is now green as they go down into turn number 1. As they head into turn number 1, it's the Toyota to the inside. It's the Animal Hospital machine, the Flowertown Animal Hospital of James Skelton rolling the inside of the track. Needs a 64 of Wells to the outside. Here comes the Care Bear. Teddy Bear needs a hug machine of Sean Single rolling the inside now. Leading lap number 1 as they come down the front straightaway. It'll be the driver that is locked in with James Skelton. Skelton puts down a lap here tonight. He'll pick up a bonus point. Sean Single going to drive it down into 1. He's going to miss the corner. 3 wide. Here comes the 42 of Max Terriel. Terriel down the bottom side of the speedway. Wells had to gather it up after Single was prancing real hard to the outside of that groove down in turn number 1. Right now, Wells is going to drop back a spot. Everybody still chasing the number 86 of Skelton. Work their way out of turn 4. Sean Single bringing back the Care Bear machine to the outside there. He's able to hold strong, and he looks like he's going to have a fast hot rod here tonight in the first 2 laps. Sean Single going to be sideways off turn number 2. Single was pointed to the infield wall. He hung on to it. Now the 42 of Max Terrell is going to take the position. And let's see if he can just drive away at this point. On board with our mechanics on board. Camera facing back. Off Sean Single's machine. There you see the Alienware 64 down to the inside. There's Richard Murdoch back there in the Adventure in Pixels 01 entry. Needs to have himself a really good run here tonight. So it will be now Terriel picking up P2. Here comes Wells. He'll pick up the 3rd position as they work down the back straightaway. Sean Single going to fight back still to the outside. Murdoch and DJ Anderson back here just biding their time right now, knowing they have to have a good run here tonight to advance to the next round of the playoffs. Just like this as they come off turn 4. It'll be 4 laps in the books. Now your front 5 have single filed out. Skelton, Terriel, Wells, Single, Murdoch. Got to look a little bit farther back here in the running order. That's the number 4 of of Jeffrey Souza. They're going to go 3 wide. The 2 Mintos are battling it out back here. There you see the red number 919 and the number 5 of Keystone Light entry. Those are the 2 drivers out of Norman, Oklahoma. How many drivers can you say are out of Norman, Oklahoma? Well, at least these 2. There's a driver out of Canada, Brandon Keating. This is all happening for 20th on back on the ticker. And for all you race fans that are tuning in here tonight, looking at our timing and scoring ticker, you notice drivers that are in green. Well, there's only one. That's James Skelton. That means he is locked into the next round of the playoffs. As all these other drivers, like there you see the 33, the Dirty Mo Radio of Eric Johnson. He is in red. That means he has not yet clinched himself a playoff spot. Right now, Eric Johnson running back in the 7th. There is the number 15 of Dustin Gainey, Mickey's Tax Service number 15. He's trying to work his way up. Remember, he won back at Talladega Speedway in the 1987 Winston Cup machine. He's battling with the Renaissance Nutrition 84, Christopher Rothrock. Rothrock slipped that time off the corner. Dustin Gainey will go ahead and take that spot as you ride on board here with Dustin Gainey. Right behind him, that's actually the Turbo Dork Radical Paints 98 of Ryan O'Donoghue out of Michigan. Ryan, like I said in the pre-race, has to have himself a good run here tonight. As a little bit farther back, it looks like one driver may have been into the outside wall there. I'm not sure if that was the 40 of Higgins or if that was the 4 of Souza. I did see Souza a little bit sideways in that number 4 entry. As it looks like Granny Hips is going to try and move up. There is the number 2 of Joshua Buckley at the Draft Top Mission 22 entry. He'll pick up the 16th spot. Up front, though, you see it all single filed out behind the number 86 of James Skelton as we close in on completing lap number 9. Well, we're about halfway this time by on lap number 9. Look at them as they all come out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Everybody is single file at this point. Look, there's not a single person that is side-by-side until you find those guys that are still side-by-side back there from 19th. Souza is trying to get to the inside here with number 3 of Tony Strano. So Souza works the bottom side of the speedway. Progressive banking here tonight at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Or I should say variable banking, as they like to describe it. 1 degree of banking on the straightaways here, down the front and the back straightaway. Both have 1 degree. And then it goes from 2 degrees of banking all the way to 7, and then it flattens out for a little bit, getting up to a 12% grade on this speedway here. See these Drivers still battling back here. They are the only side-by-side battles. The next closest battle inside the top 10 would be the 0-1 of Richard Murdoch. That's also the 51 of DJ Anderson in his Mountain Baja Blast entry. Talk about drivers that need to have a good run. Murdoch falls into that category here tonight. He comes in sitting 12, 13 drivers total. Oh, and Murdoch going to go around. Joe Strano involved also. There you see him coming into the picture. There's the 24 of Zach Mitchell. Happened right in front of our cameras as the Adventure in Pixels 01 of Richard Murdoch has gone around, talking about how he needed to have a good night coming in here. 18th last week at the Nashville Fairgrounds was not good. And tonight, it is not starting off very well on lap number 10. The 0-1. Richard Murdoch goes around. Watch it back here. DJ Anderson goes to the inside down the straightaway. And, oh, they made contact right there. They made contact. Around goes the 0-1. And right there, he might have been all right. And then you see two cars come in, the 24 and the 43. Go from over top here, watching this battle. 51 slides up a little bit, maybe Murdoch down just a hair, and they get together. Looks like Strano went to the outside thinking everybody was going to come back down the banking, and unfortunately they didn't. Right on board here with Green Forest Tree Supply. You heard him hard on the hooks there. Unfortunately, nowhere to go as he got wrapped up in it. So Joe Strano, Richard Murdoch, and Zach Mitchell all involved in this wreck. And a lot of drivers down pit road. A lot of drivers down pit road and a lot of drivers with different varying strategies here. Two drivers going to stay out. One driver looks like he may have taken right side tires or possibly just fuel here to get out ahead of everybody. James Skelton leading the rest of the drivers with 4 tires and a full tank of racing fuel. Now it looks like Joshua Buckley is going to bring his number 2 down. It looked like he tried to stay out to lead a lap. Unfortunately, he is going to have to come to pit road. Well, Grady Hips coming down. That'll take the lead to the driver out of Ontario, Canada. Driving the K1 Graphics Liquid Molly entry, Brandon Feeney is your race leader. Does look like the iRacing.com pace car lights are off as our timing and scoring readjust. 3 playoff drivers who were not locked in tonight are behind the 8 ball tonight. Joe Strano, Richard Murdoch, and Zach Mitchell, all involved in that wreck with just 10 laps in the books. So we're going to restart here. Brandon Feeney has not come to pit road. He'll restart on the inside road. Then it'll be Eric Johnson, James Skelton, Max Terriel, Sean Single, DJ Anderson. iRacing.com pace car in. Everybody going to fire off, and everybody gets to the line. A little bit of wheel spin there from Brandon Feeney, but he stayed to the inside to allow James Skelton to see to the outside of him. Down into turn number 1. One car coming back out onto the racetrack. That's the 43 of Joe Strano, but he's going to have to hurry as they're 3 wide stacked up behind him. Feeney going to stay to the inside there, but that's going to allow the 86 of Skelton to get back around, but now it's DJ Anderson getting around him also. See them all as they go down into the corner. Everybody fans out. There's the 43 of Joe Strano down to the inside. Sean Single stuck into the middle. Who is that? That is Rob Jenkins right there. The red Bandit machine. See him working ahead of the number 15 of Dustin Gainey right now. Eric Johnson did lead the first lap back to Green Flag Racing. Chris Hammond also right here. There's Ryan O'Donnell, and he is still ticking here in that Turbo Dork Radical Paint Century, the driver out of Canton, Michigan. Of course, last week having connection issues like what Dustin Gainey is having, and then unfortunately he dropped out. Well, he went out and he bought himself a brand new router just to plug in here tonight as somebody towards the back having some issues there. That's the 3 of Strano. Looks like he's able to get it load up and back on track. Ryan O'Donnell went out and bought himself a brand new router to plug in here so he wouldn't have any internet connection issues. He's been having some latency issues also, and now he has said everything looks better, and, well, there's no issue with him right now. Other than he's still below the cut line. Right where he runs right now with everybody ahead of him is Sean Single and Dustin Gainey. Still has Ryan 1 point out here tonight. Still early in this race as Jason Wells. Something happened with Wells. Something on that restart put Jason Wells well behind. Was doing a little digging here just a little bit ago. One of the drivers, before we came live onto the air here tonight, asked me a question. And he asked if I had the, back knowledge on the league. And I said I don't, but I can get it for you. They want to know how many drivers have won in the Red Light Racing Series total over its entire history. Well, I can tell you it's into the double digits, as I was just quickly paging back through those notes. And I came across this stat. On season number 1 with Red Light Racing. The driver that you see there on screen, the 64, from my understanding, since we took over here with the Turn 3 Racing Network, Jason Wells, to me, was a brand new driver. Well, that's not the case, race fans. Jason Wells goes all the way back to the first inaugural season that Dan Lisa at least tells us of the first Scrambler series, and he won actually back at the Bristol Motor Speedway. So, while we've been calling him a newer driver to the series, well, when you check the stat book, he is not. Wells is one of those playoff drivers who had, when you check the stats, has multiple wins with Red Light Racing. So Wells, if he wants to notch another win to his record, he has to pick up the pace, because right now he's back in 17th. Battle for the race lead, though, as they go down into 1. Here comes the 42, and Max was letting it eat on the right rear tire. He was letting it eat. And he is able to gather it back up. It's going to push the 33 of Eric Johnson to the outside lane. There's DJ Anderson also right there. Remember, Eric Johnson only took maybe 2 tires, or maybe it was just all fuel. Looks like that's a possible 2-tire stop for him. Right now, he's going to fall back. Max Terrell will lead his first laps here tonight. Max leads at the line and down into turn number 1. Will he get a great run out of turn number 2? He should be able to clear that 33. He slides a little bit, but he will be able to clear as both drivers were sliding down coming out of turn number 2. Here comes DJ Anderson now in the Mountain Dew Baja Blast Toyota. You see James Skelton lurking in the background. Yeah, well, he has not gone away. Right now, I think he's possibly just saving it. He knows it's still early on in this race. Still a lot of racing to go. You see the entire field has actually started to spread out as you look down the front straightaway here. There is the number 5 of Brandon the Yeetster, Minto, Keystone Light entry. He's going to get around Rob Higgins. Minto had to really come out of it. There's Higgins. Started back in the 19th spot. He's actually picked up a couple spots here now, running 15. One driver still down on pit road, and that's the 0-1 of Richard Murdoch. He's still sitting down on pit road. Eric Johnson, though, still stuck to the outside in that number 33. Just can't seem to get down to the inside groove right now. And oh boy, 51 of DJ Anderson's going to let the door open. I thought for a moment James Skelton was going to go ahead and insert himself into that little bit of an opening, but he elected to just kind of ride in line here. Now he goes to the outside groove. Number 11 of Sean Single still with his Care Bear entry to the inside. See the driver out of Ayer, Massachusetts. I think it says Cake Bears on that car tonight. So it is a Care Bear machine for Mr. Single. But maybe he's insinuating he wants some cake. I don't know. Max Terrell, though, has opened up a 1-second race lead. Caution flag coming out. One of them up against the outside wall in turns 3 and 4. Number 33. Oh, boy. That's Eric Johnson, one of your championship hopefuls. Oh, he got a little help. Got a little help from Rob Jenkins going into the corner, and it's going to park the 33 up against the outside wall. See if we can ride on board here. You heard Jenkins off the throttle. It's just he tried to carry it in farther than that 33. Remember, the 33 of Eric Johnson also had older tires. Watch the closing right here. Eric Johnson had to lift early to make the corner. Jenkins was able to really sail her off and, just caught that left rear and a slow spin into the wall. It's going to give some left rear damage to that 33. All drivers are able to pull away from that wreck. So it's unfortunate for some of them, but see if they can get back out. Split decisions here by a lot of the field. Some drivers coming down, some drivers staying out, one driver getting a wave around. That's the 43 of Joe Strano. Getting a report that Richard Murdoch has called it a night here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So a championship night moving on for Murdoch is officially done here this evening. More drivers having championship problems. That's the 33 of Eric Johnson. You know, Johnson coming into the night looked like he was possibly going to be one of the drivers that had a decent, I shouldn't say decent, everybody has a shot. But with Eric Johnson coming in the 7th position, he was 2 points above the cut line coming in. He now will fall below that cut line. That will move Ryan O'Donnell and Travis Minto in for the time being. Johnson's still out there. He's just going to be a little bit farther behind as our field is getting ready. I believe we'll go around one more time at least here. Take a look at the left-hand side of your screen. That is where your favorite drivers are running on our timing and scoring list. Dustin Gainey blinking in and out there. It's going to be Max Terriel, Dustin Gainey, Ryan O'Donnell, Mark Jenkins, Christopher Rothrock, Joshua Buckley. They all actually stay out here along with Wells, and Jason Wells will be the last car that stayed out. 2-tire stop for James Skelton. Then it's going to be DJ Anderson, Sean Single, Rob Jenkins, Michael Trevarthen, Chris Hammett, Travis Minto, and Jeffrey Souza rounding out your top 10. Looks like Wells is actually going to come to pit road here. Possibly doesn't like his odds against the field. So that will put the iRacing.com pace car lights off. Tonight's race is brought to us by our friends over at theracing.school.net. You interested in getting behind the wheel of a stock car on one of the most historic short tracks in America? Well, the Racing School is over at the Thompson Speedway. And I believe if I have the date marked on the calendar right, it is going to be April 17th. If you head on over to the website and book for April 17th, you'll be able to catch a lot of the drivers that you see in the field here tonight at that facility there at Thompson for the Racing School. You're going to get a little real-world hands-on experience behind the wheels of some powerful stock cars at that short track. That'll be a good event for the Red Light Racing Series. And, of course, any of you fans that are interested in that, head on over to theracing.school.net and get signed up today. Green flag back into the air and a huge stack up here. One of them well down to the inside. That's the 86 of James Skelton. He saw the big stack. Oh, boy. He's going to get sideways. He had them stacked up, jelly tight up here, and they were rolling. Now they're all going to be battling down the back straightaway. Down into 3 they go. They're all figuring it out now. Oh, Dustin Gainey got the race lead, and then he blew the corner. That's going to put the 42 back to the point here. Max Terriel back to the race lead. Ryan O'Donnell still holding the inside groove here. As you see the 51 of DJ Anderson, he has fresh tires. He's going to go to the outside here. That is of the 999er of Mark Jenkins in that Pepsi Cola entry. Sean Single side by side, the two Ford drivers. Granny Hips up the track. He's losing a little ground. Look at them. They are definitely fanned out here tonight. Fanned out as everybody's able to stay off each other. Oh, Travis Minto going to overshoot turn one. Almost got into the side there. The Renaissance Nutrition number 84, Christopher Rothrock. Rothrock's already been into the outside wall with the right-hand side of that Chevrolet. Driver out of Pennsylvania in the Renaissance Nutrition. Oh, look at Josh Buckley. Buckley had to check up. Rothrock down through the middle here. Here comes Brandon Minto working the inside. They are 3 wide at New Hampshire. 3 wide with the Xfinity cars here tonight. And, well, they made it work, and now they're going to go 3 wide once again. Brandon Minto really able to roll the inside groove in and around the bottom side, but on corner exit loses some speed. Joshua Buckley gonna hang it up to the outside, and he throws the anchor out the back. Now he'll have to battle with the Liquid Molly K1 Graphics number 938 of Brandon Feeney. Right behind Josh Buckley, you see the Dirty Mo Radio number 33 of Eric Johnson. Johnson right now just hanging out back here, trying to work his way back through the field. Mark Jenkins has slipped. Not sure what happened to him. He was on the outside groove, as now he's back here running into the 11th position. He was inside the top 3 at one time. Now it's going to be Rob Jenkins in the Bandit number, or the Brant number 989. And he's got a mirror full and a side full of the number 11, the Care Bear entry of Sean Single. Behind them, though, it's going to be the 42 of Max Terriel. Remember, Max did not put that set of tires on under that pit stop, or underneath that yellow flag anyway. James Skelton, he did come down, put 2 tires on. Sean Single pit in along with Rob Jenkins and DJ Anderson. All those drivers that are out front right now, they did pit. They did put 4 tires on. Ten laps away from halfway here tonight. Who is going to be our halfway home leader? Should be able to make it to halfway without having to pit. Should only need to make one more pit stop here tonight to make it the rest of the way here at New Hampshire. Michael Trevarthen in his Cobra Jet. Motorcraft Ford Performance number 31. The driver racing with the RPM Motorsports stables this season. You see Michael Trevarthen. He picks up that spot. Now here comes the Winn-Dixie 906 of Chris Hammett. Chris Hammett's going to pick up that spot. You got to remember, though, that 42 is on older tires than everybody else that's ahead of him. Travis Minto will be the next car. There you see the Toro 919. Well, he's got fresh tires, too, compared to the 42. Kevin O'Brien was down onto the grass for just a moment, it looked like, or he was at least down below the racing surface. Going to allow Bob Higgins in that, number 941, the driver out of Ayer, Massachusetts. Check flag auto supply, Ford Mustang. He's working on Rothrock right now. Bob has the fresher tires out of the stables. And remember, Rothrock has been into the outside wall at least one time here so far in the early stages of this one. At one point, he was up inside the top 10, but now that Renaissance Nutrition 84 is back here to now the 21st running position on the grid. Jason Wells has not gone a lap down, I don't believe, but he is at the tail end of this field. He is the last car on the lead lap, running back into the 23rd spot. So Wells right now is on the outside looking in at a championship. Drivers that have had some issues here tonight: Jason Wells, Joe Strano, Richard Murdoch, and Zach Mitchell. Mitchell has worked himself back up with no hood, no bumper, and some torn up fenders and a beaten up rear end. Zach Mitchell's back here running into the 18th position, hoping that something happens here late in the going tonight so he can pick up a couple more spots and find himself being locked in. Zach did come in running inside the cutoff line. Zach Mitchell was 4th coming into the night. 6 points to the good. And he'll look to get around Brandon Feeney here and pick up at least another point. That's a 1 point. Every spot is a point here tonight, and every point is going to matter at the end of this one. A couple of your non-playoff drivers still out here that are competing tonight. Rob Higgins and Tony Strano. You know, the SK Modified Series just started last Thursday at the Oxford Plains Speedway, and Tony Strano was not in attendance. Of course, his work schedule now on Thursday not allowing him to make the Thursday night races, which we hate to see that. Tony was making leaps and bounds in his SK Modified program, but we still get to see him here on a Monday night. Ryan O'Donnell, though, on the outside of the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry. Starting to fade a little bit here in this longer run for him. 3 laps away from halfway. Ryan O'Donnell back here running in 13th right now. The next car behind him would be Brandon Minto, and Minto has fresher tires than Ryan O'Donnell. Here comes the eater of Brandon Minto. They'll make very quick work down in turn number 1 with Ryan O'Donnell. Pass up here inside the top 3, though. The 86 of James Skelton going to pick up P number 2. Sean Single went to throw a Care Bear at him, and it missed. And, well, when it missed, it was like one of those bananas in Mario Kart, and it got actually Sean. So Sean will fall a spot back to running P number 3. Right behind him, the driver that has picked up 7 spots out of Virginia. Rob Jenkins, still searching for that first win. Handful of top 10s here this season. Some very strong finishes. Looking for a podium at least here this year yet. Definitely has the speed in that program. They just have to be able to put a whole race together. Everybody has definitely single-filed out in the front of the field here. DJ Anderson is the race leader, has almost a second lead over James Skelton. There you see about 6, 7 car lengths, maybe 8 car lengths now. And everybody else is just single-file riding around here. This time by the halfway point will go to DJ Anderson. Anderson leads at the halfway home marker here tonight in the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series, the Red Light Racing. Of course, race fans, do you want to get out and battle? Do you think you have what it takes to beat the 51 of DJ Anderson? How about the 86 of James Skelton or even the 42 of Max Terriel? Well, there's one way to find out, and that's by heading over to RB Custom Rigs and getting your new iRacing rig today, customly built for your standard. You need the 3080? Well, guess what? Rick Bell over there at the RV Custom Rigs, he can get you that 3080 into a custom PC of your liking. You need it water-cooled? No problem. Rick Bell over at RV Custom Rigs has you covered today from mild to wild and everything in between. Get yours today and get out on track tomorrow. As we're halfway home here tonight, though, at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, as DJ Anderson will come back around here, he will lead another one. A little bit farther back, it looks like here's Josh Buckley and the 64 of Wells side by side down into the corner. Wells has the pressure tires of the 2, and he will take that pass. So Wells takes the Alienware Logic Tech, number 64 Chevrolet, back up into the 18th position. Wells did start inside our top 5 here tonight and then had those issues. Fell drastically back. He had to make an unscheduled pit stop also. Back here running in the 18th spot. Brandon Minto still trying to use up those fresh tires on his car. To be another position if he can get around the number 15, the Mickey Tax Service, number 15 of Dustin Gainey. So work the inside of the speedway as it looks like Dustin Gainey having a little bit of those electrical issues here with the iRacing.com server. One of them sideways. Caution lights are going to come on the wheel, and caution lights are on the speedway. Here on lap number 49 in the books, working lap number 50. As the driver out of Ontario, Canada, the Liquid Molly K1 Graphics number 938 Chevrolet, has gone around. Take a look back here and see what happened to Brandon Feeney. Oh, him and Christopher Rothrock get together, sending Feeney up the speedway. Let's see if we can go back here and... Oh, one comes up, one comes down, meet in the middle, and there's the sandwich, and unfortunately, back there goes the 938 of Brandon Feeney. So let's see what this mechanics advisor onboard camera has here with the driver out of Australia, but actually we don't even get to see too much. There we go. There's a much better angle from our truck. They said they had 2 cameras on board this Shell Ford. Fortunately, those 2 drivers getting together and going for a ride. So drivers that did come down pit road are racing off pit road right now. James Skelton is actually going to win that battle off of pit road. So it's Skelton, DJ Anderson, Rob Jenkins, Sean Single, Michael Tremartha, Chris Hammett, Max Terrill, Travis Minto, Eric Johnson coming out of pit road. 3 drivers did stay out. Kevin O'Brien actually will be coming to pit road, I hear. Tony Strano and Jason Wells all staying out here under these yellow flag pit stops, but here they come now to pit road. So they come to pit road. That'll turn things back over to James Skelton. It's a beautiful sunny evening here virtually at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And race fans, while we're over that halfway point here tonight, we got to thank you all for tuning in tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network to watch the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series here for Red Light Racing, of course. It is the RacingSchool.net .net 90. I wanted to say number 90 as I'm staring at that beautiful logo that was designed by Dan Butler. But it is the Racing School 90. If you are new here to watching the Scrambler Series, they are on every Monday night here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So if you want to catch more of the racing action, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell, and get the notification anytime the Red Light Racing Series goes live, whether it's Monday night or Thursday night with their SK Modified program. As we are in the playoffs here for the Scrambler Series, and of course the SK program just starting last week with the Checkered Flag Auto Supply back on board with them. And of course they are our One to Go sponsor here tonight at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway also. We're over halfway to that One to Go marker. We did get the One to Go back to Green Flag Racing. So we'll go back with 53 laps in the books and the 2 drivers that have led the most laps on the front row. James Skelton and DJ Anderson will do that dance. 2 Toyotas, followed by a Chevrolet and a Ford. Then it's 2 Chevrolets, a Ford and a Chevy, and then Chevrolets through pretty much of the field here. It's kind of a Chevrolet-Ford split with just 2 random Toyotas, and they just happen to be the 2 Toyotas that are leading the field. Flowertown Animal Hospital 86, of course, so James Skelton going to victory lane just last week at the Mickey Tax Service Nashville Fairgrounds race on March the 15th. iRacing.com pace car is off, and 1 driver going to pull down out of the way. It looks like that's the Kevin O'Brien entry, but we are green, and everybody chases James Skelton. And hit, one of them into the wall. That's the 51 of TJ Anderson. Everybody is going to scatter down the back straightaway. Everybody had to scatter. Some drivers had to jump on the hooks, like the number 11 of Sean Single. Single hit the hooks, and then, well, there you see it. Rob Jenkins battling for a second place spot right now. Jenkins not going to be able to make the pass on DJ Anderson. The question is going to be, though, how wounded is the DJ Anderson machine? Oh, Sean Single and Jenkins going to make contact. Rob Jenkins is going to hang on to it. Now here comes Sean Single as he pulls side by side down into 3. Maybe a little more contact going down into turn number 3. Single going to really drive it off onto the inside. He's going to try and use up a little bit of that tire. Here comes Jenkins. He'll keep the momentum. Skelton will lead at the line. This battle, though, is for the final podium spot. More contact. Sean Single. Rob Jenkins going to make contact. Jenkins going to go up the track. Sean Single going to go up the track, too. He's going to lose a spot. Michael Trevarthen says, thanks for opening up the doors. Oh, boy. One of them headed to the infield. Mark Jenkins was headed to the infield. I think there's one other car down there. Is that the 4? That is the 4 of Souza. No caution flag coming out here as the 4 of Souza is definitely wounded. Let's take a look back here if we can. Watch it. Brandon Minto and Mark Jenkins make the contact. Souza gets in the grass, and at that point, he's along for the ride. And oh boy, talk about a leap of faith. Right on board here with the 4 of Souza. Them Duke boys are at it again, fans. Them Duke boys. So Souza car is tore up here tonight as he is still out on track. There you see him and his number 4, the eSports racing machine. Going to lose a lot of time as James Skelton is still our race leader with DJ Anderson, Michael Trevarthen, Sean Single, Max Terrell, and Rob Jenkins. So Jenkins has a very fast hot rod here tonight. He's trying to claw his way back up into the battle. Trying to work to the inside of the 42 of Max Terrell. Terrell did lead a couple laps here tonight, but pretty much has just kind of sat back here running in about the 5th position. Not a very big knock on the door to say, hey, I'm here. He hasn't busted through the door yet like Kool-Aid Man either. The driver that hasn't given up, though, tonight is the driver back here, the 64 of Wells. He was inside the top 5 at one point, and then he was back to running last. And now he'll work around number 5 with Brandon Minto, and that will put him back to running in that 12th position. Oh, one of them. Granny Hips. Granny Hips must have fell off the walker. He was yee and yawed out of turn number 4. Held on to it, though. Just caught that out of the corner of that picture frame. You don't want to mess up at this point. There you see Souza back here. He has caught the back of the field. He goes around the 43 of Joe Strano. So even though that car is very wounded here tonight, it looks like it still has a little bit of speed. He's going to run down the 3, the Victory Junction, number 3 of Tony Strano. He'll work to the inside of Strano here and see if he can pick up the spot. That'll be actually picking him up one spot, going to 22nd, as it looks like he will. So as he picks that up, the only thing that James Skelton was picking up was another lap lead out front. James Skelton come across here. He will, I believe he needs to lead about 10 more laps. Let me look at our stat book. 11 more laps actually tonight to be able to clinch the most laps led away from DJ Anderson. So if he can just hang on for a couple more laps, because DJ Anderson is right there. He is behind your race leader and coming still. Still one of the fastest cars on the speedway. Last time by, it was actually DJ Anderson as your fastest, and Max Terrell just that time down the back straightaway just picked up P number 3 from Michael Trevarthen. So Michael Trevarthen will fall back one spot. Now the next car back in line, rounding out the top 5 out of Ayer, Massachusetts, the Teddy Bear Care Bear entry. You know, Sean Single burst onto the scene last season here with the Red Light Scrambler series, and Nobody really knew much of Sean Single, but when he came in like a wrecking ball. And I don't mean that in a bad way, race fans, but he liked to insert himself to let these boys know that he is here. And he really turned the wick up last season in the SK Modified division for Red Light Racing, picking up a handful of wins last season. To put himself in contention towards the end of the year, just came up a handful of points short of winning himself a championship. The 42 of Max Terra ended up winning that SK championship. And here's a driver that, well, two drivers that are battling for that chance to get a championship. We're talking about him all night long. Jason Wells, the little train that could. He was to the inside of the Full Throttle Racing Turbo Dork entry of Ryan O'Donnell, and then he fell back a little bit. Looks like Dustin Gaines still having some connection issues. Further back, Rob Jenkins was trying to get around Christopher Rothrock. Couldn't make it happen. There's Zach Mitchell, another one of those chase drivers that had a lot of issues in the first half of this race. He has not crinkled it. Well, he's crinkled the car up, but he hasn't crinkled his can up tonight. Driver out of Minnesota. I know, terrible dad joke, right? 24 laps to go that time by at the line for James Skelton. Can he sweep the round of 12? He won last week at the Nashville Fairgrounds with the 1987 Winston Cup car. And this week he has, well, his Xfinity car out here. That Flowertown Animal Hospital painted up by Bromley Designs, number 86. Come by this time, don't get 23 laps to go. Let's take a look, though, at our times here when he comes back across the line. Let's see, who is the fastest driver as they come across? James Skelton right now holding that top spot. Max Terrell was the fastest that time by. There you see the 42. Fastest car on the speedway last time by. It's Max Terrell, James Skelton, and then Michael Schwarth in your fast three. So when will these drivers hit pit road for the final time with 23 to go? It'll be 22. The double deuce that time by. Everybody is really calmed down. Here comes a pass. Here comes Chris Hammett trying to pick up another spot. That would be Rob Jenkins right now that holds that 6th position. Oh, sideways. Jenkins was in the wall that time. Jenkins was in the wall, and now Jenkins, oh! Rob Jenkins, wrong place, wrong time, as he had a very fast Chevrolet Camaro. He's going to try and get it out of the tire barrier, but it looks like he is stuck. Jenkins is down there, stuck on the tires. A night that could have been. Picking up his first win will go onto the hooks. Watch this back here. Jenkins going to go out there. Oh! Just gets into the wall, and then when Eric Johnson tried to find a way around the 33, just into the back. See him into the wall there, he knew it, and then nowhere for the 33 to go. And Jenkins hard impact into the wall. We stay green flag racing here as Jenkins did take the toe to pit road, so we stay green flag racing. Look at your top 10 drivers right now. You notice one is green and the rest are red. Well, that means they are all championship playoff drivers trying to get to the next round. We already know the guy in green's going to the next round. James Skelton will move on to the round of 8, but everybody else behind him is uncertain of their fate right now. The only way that they can, well, pretty much determine if they're going to go to the next round is go up there and take it from James Skelton and win tonight. Eric Johnson back into the top 10 along with Wells, and now rounding out that top 10, Ryan O'Donnell. He hasn't been a big factor here tonight in that Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry. But something he has done is he's kept it on track and he's kept it clean. So I guess that is what you need to do here to try and point your way into the next round. We already know one driver that will not move on. That's the driver of the 01 of Richard Murdoch. He will not advance out of the round of 12. Joe Strano right now. He's still out here in his Green Forest Trade Supply entry, but with 17 laps to go, down a lap still to the race leader. He would need a yellow or something to happen for him to catch back up onto the lead lap and pick up some spots. And the time is running out of that hourglass. Looks like Rob Jenkins will be able to come back out onto the speedway. No hood on his Chevrolet. Is not mandated by our iRacing officials tonight. So Jenkins, who went for battling for a race win, is now back here just trying to salvage a night. He is currently 4 laps down as he re-enters the racing surface. And there's your race leader. That's Tony Strano in the 3, actually going a lap down. Bob Higgins has also gone a lap down. Looks like the 15 of Dustin Gainey is working the outside of the speedway. Wells trying to pick up another spot. So Wells now going to move into 7th. But what a night it's been for Dustin Gainey. You see him there in that 15. He's been involved in a little fender bender there with that number 15. He's actually picked up 15 positions. A driver that does not qualify very well. Average starting spot this season for the number 15 of Dustin Gainey. Well, it's not a good one, race fans. Let's say that, as he doesn't usually have good qualifying runs. His average starting position this season back in 25th. Average finishing position 18th. He squeaked into the championship playoffs by winning back at Talladega. As you see his car having some blinking issues here tonight. Mark Jenkins working the inside of the speedway with his Chevrolet. His damage came from restart. So he'll get around Dustin Gainey and he'll put himself into the 10th spot. Travis Minto's still back there. He's riding all by himself, kind of in no man's land, ahead of his brother Brandon Minto. So it's the Minto and Minto challenge. Right now that challenge is going to go to the number 12, or the 12th position driver of Travis Minto over Brandon Minto. Battle for, well, second position. DJ Anderson holds that spot right now, but Max Terrill sure would love to have the number 2 here tonight. As they go side by side down the back straightaway, they'll be coming to get 11 laps to go when they come back to the start-finish line. Closing in on the end of this one. Good side-by-side battle here. So DJ Anderson a little bit of a wiggle. Max Terrill not able to get into the throttle like he would want. Not sure if you want the inside lane here or if you want the outside. As Max Terrill says, well, I sure know where I want. I want it down low, taking the shortest distance around the speedway, and that will get Max Terrill that P number 2 now. So as he takes P number 2, it looks like Jenkins slid it off of turn number 2 is what I'm being told. Slid off turn number 2, and he's going to lose all the ground he had just made back up. A rough night for Mark Jenkins continues. So Mark Jenkins gives up that top 10 position. Lets Dustin Gainey and Travis Minto back by. With 10 laps to go, time is running out. He's giving her all she's got, Captain. You saw her sideways there. James Skelton has officially led the most laps here tonight, so he'll pick up that point. Max Terrill sitting over 3.5 seconds back behind him. Unless something really changes here in the late goings, it's going to be a little too late for the 42 of Max Terrill to come up here and battle. DJ Anderson has started to really fall off the pace. Let's check the lap times last time by. And it's going to be quickest car on the track is going to be the 42. And then it's James Skelton as your second fastest at the timing and scoring stripe. Michael Trevarthen is actually your third fastest driver. But, man, boy, is he way back here in fifth. Sitting at about 4 seconds. They're actually almost 10 seconds back from your race leader. It'd be 4 seconds so they would be able to go up there and battle with DJ Anderson. 7 laps to go. Eric Johnson is not done here tonight. Trying to pick up another spot from the rookie. Talked about Chris Hammett last week and how he came in last season with the SK Modified Series and now has worked his way up here to run with the Scrambler Series. Wanted to say the Xfinity Series, as that's the car that we have here this week. Of course, we scramble them up. We run the Gander Outdoor Truck, the 1987 Winston Cup machines, and the Cup cars. And tonight, we just have the old Xfinity car out here. Probably one of the drivers' favorites to come out and race is the Xfinity car. Chris Hammett going to try and come back. Looks like, I believe that's Minto back there. That just got into the wall on a turn number 2 with the Toro number 919. 5 laps to go. It's the Hi, how are ya? That time by for the 86 of Skelton. Team as he'll work to the inside here on the 4 of Souza. Souza, remember, did go for that crazy ride down there on the back straightaway when he hit the tires. I see Kevin O'Brien going to make a big swing inside. The driver out of Australia will go 1 lap down now. He goes a lap down and then unfortunately loses that lucky dog position as the 4 of Souza, who is trailing the race leader, takes that spot. Travis Minto looking to pick up 1 here on Jenkins. That'll put our first 11 drivers all in the championship hopeful drivers, as Mark Jenkins really drove it off into the corner in the 999er. As Dustin Gainey going to get into the wall with just 3 laps to go here tonight. 3 laps, 3 more miles of racing. Travis Minto, this is the best battle on the speedway right here. 3 cars trying to hang on for top 10s. Right now, Gainey has that 10th position. The other 2 drivers knocking on the door saying, hey, can we come on in here and play? It's not over with yet. This time by, though, at the line for your race leader, Popsicle Sticks. 2 laps to go here tonight for James Skelton. It's been a night where he has dominated. Didn't get the lead all the laps here tonight, but he's led all the laps that counted. And it's closing in at the end of this one. 1 driver to pit road. It looks like Kevin O'Brien's not going to be able to make it the rest of the way on fuel. He'll have to take a pit stop here before the end of this one. Does your leader of James Skelton have enough in the tank? He'll work out a turn 4 as he'll come to the start-finish line. It'll be 1 lap to go, presented by the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. So 1 more lap here tonight for James Skelton. He was able to dominate last week at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and here tonight he put his tennis shoes on. He's been playing back and forth with his competition tonight. As he works through 3 and 4. For the final time, he'll come off of turn 4. He'll look up at the flag stand. The checkered flag is flying. James Skelton will sweep the round of 12. As he comes home, finishing P number 1. Second's going to be Max Terriel, DJ Anderson in 3rd, 4th. And there's a battle back here. 33 of Eric Johnson is going to beat Chris Hammett to the line. So it's Skelton, Terriel, Anderson, Wells, Sean Single, Michael Trevarthen, as they're piling them up over here in turn number 1. Looks like Sean Single's there. Eric Johnson finishes 7th, Chris Hammett in 8th. Ryan O'Donnell is going to finish in the 9th position. 10th will go to Mark Jenkins. Travis Minto in 11th with Dustin Gainey in 12th. 13th will be Brandon Minto, Joshua Buckley in 14th, and Zach Mitchell rounds out the top 15 drivers. Left-hand side of your screen, race fans, of course, is our unofficial race results here tonight, as we're going to have to wait for those points to all be tallied up after this one here, after the RacingSchool.net 90 here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. There's your race winner. He's down there. He's going to do some celebrating, I believe, here in just a couple of moments, as the 86 of James Skelton is our race winner. There you see it. He'll burn him down. There's your race winner on the front straightaway, letting the old tires slide a little bit. So as he celebrates, we're going to step away here and get to our Renaissance Nutrition post-race show here tonight at New Hampshire.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back here to the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. There you see on your screen, that was the restart back on lap number 54. That was the final restart of the evening. That's when everybody hammered back down and James Skelton drove off into the sunset here tonight to beat his competition for the second time in the round of 12. So he sweeps it. The Nashville Fairgrounds and the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. James Skelton's able to go back-to-back, and let's head down victory lane and see if we can get a word in with the driver of that number 86. James, you win them once again here tonight at New Hampshire. What is the, what's happening down there with the 86? Hitting the right stride at the right time?
Yeah, I think, we had a pretty fast car tonight. I think we had a little luck on our side too. I think Max on the long run had the best car. So I just think it was fortunate that for me that on that last stop, or the one right before that, that I pitted and Max stayed out, and I think he got shuffled back to 7th because he worked his way all the way back from 7th. I think it was 7th to 2nd, and he was cutting time off me. So I'll definitely take the win. I don't know if I had the fastest car, but we got to put it behind us, and we just got to worry about the round of 8 now.
Yeah, exactly. This round is already over. The round of 8 is coming up, and let's just jump right into that head first. Kansas, Bristol, truck, cup car. Are we going to have a good round of 8 here?
I hope. It's going to be interesting because obviously both tracks predominantly we run the top line, so it's just going to be, the last 2 tracks it's hard on the break-in, and we're rolling, mostly the bottom. So it's just like a flip-flop of kind of how you run these tracks. So Kansas I'm pretty good at. I did just a few laps just to kind of see what the truck felt like. And you're wide open for the first few laps, and you're on the bottom. So it's going to be interesting to see when people segue to the middle lane all the way up to the top, as the tires wear. And then Bristol, I'm good, I'm really good on the long run, but you just never know because it's Bristol.
Yeah, Bristol, that tight little bull ring down there, right now covered with dirt. Are we going there in dirt, James?
Yeah, that's not my thing, so I'll stick to the pavement.
Oh, race fans, I keep trying for all of you. But, James, congratulations on picking up another win this season as you sweep the round of 12. Who's on the side of this 86 here tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank so I got the wife's work. So she's the office manager / head vet tech at Flowertown Animal Hospital. So I always like supporting, their business. I want to thank my teammates as always. I think DJ hopefully snuck in. He had an awesome race, and if he didn't have a little damage at the end, I think he could have been the car to beat also. Thank Josh for everything he does. He's a great teammate. Sean, like always, he's recuperating. Can't wait to – well, I guess I kind of can't wait to see him out there, but he wins so much. It's kind of nice when he's not out here because I am winning a few more races. Thank you, Roger, for putting the broadcast on. Gen X didn't have a setup tonight, but I'm looking forward to getting their setup next week. I already, like I said, tested, felt really good. All the drivers, it was a good race, and all the rest of the sponsors.
There you hear it from the driver out of South Carolina. He'll sweep the round of 12. James Skelton's got a horseshoe stuck somewhere, race fans. Can anybody go up there and find it, or will he continue his streak here going into the round of 8? He wins. That means we're still waiting on the points here to be tallied up here tonight to see who will move on. We do know James Skelton will move on to the round of 8, and we suspect the driver that's going to be up next, as that driver finishes second here tonight, it's the 42 of Max Terrell. Max, it really felt like you didn't have quite the good car on the short runs here tonight, but the long run, this 42 seemed to come alive.
Yeah, that last caution, I didn't want to see that, even if I had older tires. I was catching up to the group of cars in front of me. And that last restart just got stuck behind a couple of cars that almost wrecked, so had a lot of ground to make up for the last 40 laps, which is not too bad. That was probably the best car that I've ever had at New Hampshire, so was really hoping for a shot close to the front at the end. Didn't happen, but it's a good race overall.
A good race, and it keeps you right in check. We can tell you now that you will move on to the round of 8. How does it feel knowing that you will move on?
Yeah, I did more than enough to make it through the first round. Just kept the car clean in 2 top 5s. That's definitely the way to make it the next round. So we'll go to Kansas, test with the trucks, see how it feels. If the multi-groove is in effect over there, and some tire wear, and hopefully some green flag, long green flag runs.
Well, before we let you go, Max, who makes it all possible back home up north?
Yep, my girlfriend, my friend Max at Max and Knitting, and my dad, they're all watching the Turn 3 Network broadcast that you put on, Roger. Josh, James, and Richard for the RB Custom Rigs Scrambler series. And, well, to all the viewers, hope to see you next week.
There you hear it from the driver out of Canada, Max Terriot. He will move on to the next round of the playoffs. And, well, we're still waiting to see who else is going to join him here. But finishing third on the podium, DJ, it was a great run for this Mountain Dew Baja Blast entry. It seemed like at one point you had the car to beat. What happened? Where did the wheels fall off it tonight?
I feel really good about New Hampshire. I've always run good here. I've always been really good on the long run. I've usually been really good to rotate the center and get a good exit. And, the middle of the race, it was nice to be caught on a different strategy than Max, and I was hoping it'd stay green because I figured if that was the case, I might have a good shot at winning. And then at the end, James and I on the front row just kind of rode up the wall on the backstretch and got a little bit of damage, and they just wouldn't turn in the long run. It just got worse and worse, and I think that kind of ruined my chance of winning. But I came in tonight knowing that I had to finish at least top 3 to have a chance to move on because of getting disconnected for some issues last week after running the top 8. So hopefully it was enough to get me in.
I'm looking at the points right now, and they're still tallying it up here, so I can't say if you're in or not tonight. If you do make it in, it's going to be by the skin of the teeth, and if you do make it, are you going to be coming with a chip on your shoulder to Kansas?
I felt like this first round was going to be hit or miss for me because I knew the 87 cars hasn't really been my strong suit. I knew I ran good at New Hampshire, but I feel pretty good with the next 3 tracks coming up. Bristol I've always run pretty good at, but it's kind of one of those crapshoots where anything can happen. Kansas I usually run pretty good at in the trucks, and I'm looking forward to Texas in the Xfinity car. I feel like if I do make it on to the next round, I might be able to give Max and James, who I think are the 2 favorites, a run for their money.
Yeah, well, we'll see after everything's all tallied up here tonight, but we're going to let you go celebrate a little bit here after this one in New Hampshire, who made it all possible tonight.
Everybody at Red Light, my teammates, we work hard trying to make sure we get good strategy and practice in for these races so we can try to run good consistently. It's nice to see James winning a lot, and it just kind of sucks to know that every time he's won, I've kind of been in position to maybe take the win and just had a few mistakes that might have cost me that chance. And I love going back and watching these broadcasts and everything you do for us. I appreciate it, man.
There you hear it from DJ Anderson. He'll round out your top 3 finishers here tonight in our Renaissance Nutrition post-race show with our drivers. It is James Skelton who wins it. Max Terriel is second. And, of course, DJ Anderson rounds out our finishing order here tonight. Let's see if we can take a quick gander for all you race fans at our race results. There they are. These are, of course, your unofficial race results as we get ready to leave the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. James Skelton is your winner with Max Tyrrell, DJ Anderson. How about Jason Wells rallying all the way back? He was outside the top 20 at one point here tonight. He'll rally back to finish inside the top 5. He'll finish 4th. Sean Single with a late race slide. He falls back to 5th. Michael Trevarthen on 6th. Eric Johnson in 7th. Chris Hammett in 8th. Ryan Aldani and Mark Jenkins rounding out the top 10. Take a look there, see where your favorite driver did wind up here tonight. This is going to be the round of 12, though. We will head to the round of 8 starting next week at the Kansas Motor Speedway. We're going to hit Kansas in the Tailgaters, the Truck Series. The Gander Outdoor Trucks are coming back out for the final time this season for 90 heart-pounding laps at that Kansas Speedway. Then we will go on April the 5th to the Bristol Motor Speedway, and that will be a cut race. So just 2 more races left here in this round, or in this next round, and that's at Bristol for 175 laps with the NASCAR Cup car. Of course, that's the 750 horsepower package before we head to the Texas Motor Speedway for the final race of the season on April the 12th. 100 laps scheduled for the championship. You want to make sure you're one of those championship 4 when it comes down to time to go dancing in Texas. But race fans, we got to thank you all tonight for tuning in here tonight to watch the Racing School 90 for the RB Custom Rig Scrambler Series presented by Red Light Racing. You can catch more Red Light Racing action just this Thursday night when the SK Modified Series heads back to the Speedway. The Checker Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series made their return last week here on the Turn 3 Racing Network at the Oxford's Plains Speedway. Had one heck of a race around that little bull ring. Now we will head to Thompson. That is the home of the Racing School. So we're headed to the Thompson Speedway for 100 laps of short track racing action around the most historic short track in America. Make sure you catch that racing action over there. Or, well, you can head on over to redlightracing.net to keep up with all your racing action with the Red Light Racing Series. But for everybody at Red Light Racing, the RB Custom Rigs, and of course, everybody over at the Racing School, we thank you for tuning in here tonight to watch the Racing School 90 here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. But until we see you next time, race fans, everybody stay safe, and we'll see you at the races.